Chosen one, something is happening, something you weren't expecting. If you feel the stirring in your soul, that sudden intensity you can't explain, understand this. You are standing at the threshold of the final step. What's coming next is not ordinary. It will not be gentle, and it will not wait for your permission. You've been prepared for this moment, but even now you have no idea what's truly about to unfold. This isn't just a shift in your life. It's a spiritual unlocking, a divine appointment written into the timeline of your destiny. Heaven is moving, the earth is trembling. And while the world sleeps, you are being awakened. Everything you've endured, the silence, the setbacks, the tests, has been leading you to this exact moment. But now it's no longer preparation, it's activation. Have you felt it? That growing urgency inside you, that sudden clarity in your spirit? It's not imagination, it's confirmation. Something massive is on the verge of being released into your life. And if you're still watching, it's because this message was meant for you. If your spirit is already bearing witness to this, comment 999 below. Not just as a signal, but as a declaration, a way of saying, I am ready. Because what comes next will require your full faith, your full focus, and your full obedience. The final step is here. Let's begin. Chosen one, what's about to unfold in your life is beyond what you've prayed for, beyond what you've fasted for, and far beyond what you've imagined. You are not here by accident. You were led to this moment by divine orchestration because something monumental is about to be released over your life. You felt the pressure, the spiritual tension, the heaviness in the atmosphere, and now you're beginning to understand why. The world is shifting, fast, and while others are caught off guard, you are being positioned, set apart, prepared. You may have looked around lately and thought, why do I feel so disconnected from what used to make sense? It's because what's coming will demand a new level of alignment. God is not just changing your surroundings, He's recalibrating your entire spiritual infrastructure. What you're sensing isn't fear, it's awakening. You're on the brink of the final step, the moment where everything you've endured suddenly begins to make sense. The silence? It was preparation. The betrayal? It was divine disconnection. The delay? It was mercy, not denial. And now, you stand at the edge of purpose. But here's the truth. Not everyone will make it through this next season. Only the aligned will endure. Only those rooted in faith like you will be elevated. So let me ask you this. Have you noticed certain people drifting away? Old habits losing appeal? Doors closing that once gave you comfort? These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations. Heaven is decluttering your timeline. God is making space because what's coming requires purity of heart and sharpness of spirit. The world is entering a season of divine separation, a shaking, and though it may seem chaotic on the surface, it is spiritual order being established beneath. Those who have walked in rebellion, those who've turned their backs on truth, they will face the storm unshielded. But you, the chosen one, are not called to tremble. You are called to rise. This is not a time to blend in. This is not a time to question your assignment. This is the moment you were created for. What happens next will require more than belief. It will require bold, obedient action. You've been trained for this quietly in the hidden places through seasons of pain and isolation. And now the call is being sounded, step forward. Because this is not the beginning of a battle. It is the final instruction before your breakthrough, and just as you've been chosen to rise, you've also been chosen to lead. The lost, the broken, the ones who denied God but now return in desperation, they will look to you. Will you be ready to guide them? Will you carry the weight of grace when others bring judgment? You are not just being promoted spiritually, you are being appointed to serve as a vessel for restoration. You've always known there was something different about you. Even in your childhood, you could feel what others couldn't. You asked questions no one else asked. You felt things others ignored. That wasn't strangeness. It was early evidence of your calling. And now the time has come to walk fully in it. The urgency of this hour cannot be overstated. The enemy knows who you are, even if you've forgotten at times. That's why you've been attacked. That's why certain doors were blocked. It wasn't punishment, it was preservation. But now, preservation is shifting into activation. And when activation comes, everything changes. Just like when Moses stood at the burning bush, unsure of whether he could fulfill the mission. But God didn't choose Moses because he was perfect. He chose him because he was willing to obey, willing to trust, willing to walk forward into the unknown. Let me ask you again, are you willing? Because the final step will demand everything. It will test your faith, stretch your heart, and challenge your identity. But if you stand firm, if you don't retreat, you will witness something no eye has seen and no ear has heard. And that's not poetic, it's prophetic. Scripture tells us in Isaiah 43:19, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it?" That new thing is already in motion. The shift isn't coming, it's here. But perception is key. Can you discern what others cannot? Can you see purpose where others see pain? Think of Elijah on Mount Carmel. One man against hundreds, but he carried heaven's fire. He stood where others fled, and because of his obedience, revival came. Now ask yourself, what revival has God hidden inside you? What fire do you carry that can light the path for a generation? You are not empty. You are not too late. You are not forgotten. In fact, the final step is your confirmation that God was never finished with you. He was only just beginning. And if you ever doubt what can come from surrender, look at the life of Tyler Perry, a man who lived in his car, broke, rejected, and unseen. But he wrote, he dreamed, he trusted God through the dark. And now, he owns studios, he employs thousands, he influences culture. Not because he was lucky, but because he was chosen and he didn't quit. That's your story too. Maybe not the fame, but the divine rise, the unexplainable elevation. The moment when everything changes and the only explanation is God did it. So here it is, chosen one. The final step isn't about trying harder, it's about trusting deeper. Walking with power, speaking with clarity, and aligning with heaven's flow. You won't need to chase what's next. It's already been sent toward you, but you must be ready. Let me leave you with this. For many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 22:14. And you are the few. Now walk in it. So now, chosen one, you've heard the call. You've felt the stirring in your spirit, the confirmation in your heart. Everything that has happened in your life, every delay, every heartbreak, every closed door has been part of your preparation. And now, you stand on the edge of divine activation. The final step is here. Not in theory, not in some distant future. Now this is the moment where purpose overtakes hesitation, where calling silences doubt, where obedience becomes the bridge to breakthrough. You are not just a believer, you are a vessel, a torchbearer, a light carrier in a darkening world, and the time has come to rise. The world around you is shifting, but you are anchored. While others lose themselves in fear, you will lead with faith. While the world falls into chaos, you will stand in clarity, because you were chosen. Not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. And God has equipped you for everything that lies ahead. So what will you do with this moment? Will you step forward into the unknown, trusting that divine hands are guiding your every step? Or will you hesitate and let the final step pass you by? If your spirit says yes, if your heart knows this was meant for you, comment 999 below right now. Let it be your declaration to heaven that you are ready. Ready for purpose, ready for power, ready for everything God has prepared. This is your moment. The final step is no longer approaching. It has arrived.